What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday afternoon to all of you. November 19th. Thank you for watching Sports Guru. This is Betting with the Bag. Vinny Cornell in the house. As Vinny's in, let the fun begin. Vinny Cornell first in chat. Take it easy, DX Father. Reese, Lillian, Pumpernickel, no request. Nilo, Deer Slayer, Ski says, Jimmy, please thank Flash for the Germany-Poland parlay you gave out last night on Live Line. Tonight it's Minnesota Sabres under 6 in Tampa Bay. Minus 120. I like it. Deer Slayer, Skeeters, Guru, Sports Bets, Barry, Block, Yenny, Toon, Jason Loudon, Molly Cruel, Chili Dog, Dooley, Canascat, AM says, hope everybody cashed big today. 3-0 in the morning show. Macedonia moneyline plus 140. Montenegro moneyline plus 130. Saudi Arabia, Paraguay draw at plus 270. Cash. That's our guy, AM. Cashing, and cashing. Okay, we got a lot of work to do. We got a great group here. We're going to be joined by Maxwell Smart in 7 minutes. Molly Cruel in the house. No request in the house. NHL, I'm not touching. I do have some thoughts about this. I mean, do we know what's going on with Brandon Ingram? I'd love to know what's going on with Brandon Ingram because I have a funny feeling that Portland steps up without Lillard tonight. And I would like to take advantage of it, but I only will if I know that there's no Brandon Ingram and questionable tonight. But battling soreness, he's not going to play much. You know, maybe I should just stay off, but I have a funny feeling this Blazers team that gets 18.6 assists per game will distribute the ball and everyone will eat. Landon Hayes in the house. Larry Saps, his great NBA card, a ton of value. I've got a ton of NHL action and no NBA action at this point. Oh, that's my audible note. Sorry. I would love to lock in some NBA, but I'm fully invested in NHL. First, I'm on Eastern Michigan with the guys. It's just a $100 bet, but I'm hammering this NHL card, so let me go over it right now. Panthers minus 1. That's a minus 130 money line and a plus 184 puck line. I feel like Bobrovsky's going to step up. I love the third home game in a 4 home game run. The third home game, I love it. I'm staying off Bruins Devils. I'm staying off of the Islanders Penguins game, although I can understand why Babano likes the Islanders. I'm on the under 6 in Canadians Blue Jackets. I got that at minus 104. I was shocked that there was a 6. To me, everyone, the last games that these teams have played against each other have gone over, but to me, the Jackets can't score, and now the Canadians don't have Druin, and Carey Price playing well. And Jet Billings says, I love Golden State tonight. Oh, I almost made that move last year. Wow, I almost made that move on the early show. So I'm on the under 6 Canadians Blue Jackets, and I love it. Then I'm on the Red Wings minus 1. I could not believe that money was coming in on the center. Okay, look, I know that the Red Wings are coming back from a road trip, and that's not when you want to back a team, but who cares? They are the better hockey team, and they need wins badly right now, and they're bigger than Ottawa. They can push Ottawa around. I jumped all over Detroit, and I got minus 115. You can still get minus 120. I took it on the minus 1 line for a big score. There's Alex Ramirez, Spidey play today. Red Wings money line. I love seeing that. Barry Block on Eastern Michigan. I love seeing that as well. Jeff Billings, you're going to make me jump on Golden State, and we don't really have enough time to talk about it. Here's RMK's action. He's on Detroit, Ottawa, under 6.5. Montreal, Columbus, under 6. Chicago, Carolina, over 6. Isles, money line, under 6. And Buffalo, Minnesota, under 6. RMK, a spectacular NHL capper. I'm going to grab that right now and copy and paste it. Let's see what Deer Slayer Ski is saying quickly. And don't forget, you can throw your questions in. We're going to have Max here in a second. Deer Slayer Ski said, took the Minnesota Sabres under 6. As we say, Jimmy, grab the 6 when you can with the Wild. I agree. Grab the 6 while you can with the Wild. I agree. It's 5.5 in my book. 6 at Pinnacle. Okay, sorry. So let me keep going through the NHL plays there, because we'll have Max on the show very, very soon. All right, I've got 8 games that I bet at 200 a pop. It's going to be a huge night for me in NHL. Going to be sweating profusely with my shirt off, drinking heavily. Lightning minus 1. It's my favorite. I think for value, it's the best spot on the board. Lightning minus 1 here. I got minus 110. I think it's great that they're going to go back on the road now because they played too much on the road at the beginning of the year. They go back home. They get through that Globe Series. They go back home for a bit. Now they're going to go on the road after a loss to the Jets. I think they're going to come out firing. I got minus 110. I took them on the minus 1 line, but the best you get now is minus 115 at Bovada. The Lightning minus 1 is my favorite spot on the board. Also on the under 6.5. I love that spot. There's Vishnu Ace in the house. I'm on the under 6.5 here in the Tampa spot. That's 6 at almost every book, but 5 dimes starting in 6.5. I was shocked I could get a 6.5. Shocked. Absolutely shocked. I'm on the Predators minus 1.5. I love that everybody's on the Jets. Gives me value to take the Predators. Getting plus 135 here. The Predators are an angry group. The Jets feel great about themselves. Predators are an angry group. They lose 7-2 to the Blackhawks, out shooting them 41-24. They're going to hammer the Jets. There's Sammy B in the house. Sammy B in the house with Rich G. Then Hurricanes, Blackhawks, I'm staying off. I'm on the Stars minus 1. I don't care that there's no Klingberg. I don't think the Canucks are that good of a hockey team. I don't think they're that good on the road. And I think that Jamie Benn is going to step up. And I hate Jamie Benn's guts, but I think he's going to step up here after cashing the overtime winner in the last game. I'm on Stars minus 1 at plus 122. It's a money line minus 134 and a puck line of plus 185. I'm on the Flames minus 1. This is a must bet for me. The Flames just have to bounce back. They've lost 4 straight. They hate Colorado's guts. Colorado beat them up in the first round of the playoffs, knocked them out of the playoffs after they won the division. They hate this team. They've lost back-to-back games in shutouts. They're coming after them. RMK says, don't see a correlation with Tampa Bay and over, though. Everyone seems to score at least 3 versus them. The Blues aren't scoring anything. I see a 4-1 final, 4-2 at the worst. If the Blues score a late goal with an empty net or something like that. I see the under 6.5 is a gift, an absolute gift. I have to back the Flames here. Everybody on the Avs, everybody on the Jets, give me the 2 home teams here. Very, very confident. I would have taken the over 6.5 in the Leafs Golden Knights game. I believe that would be my first over 6.5 of the year. I would have done it if I got on it early, but I'm not going to get it. It was minus 1. I would have been able to get it at minus 120 for show purposes, but I would have had to bet it at minus 130. I'm not going to bother with that. Oilers, Sharks. Sharks just beat up the Oilers. Sharks have won 6 straight. I don't want to back him here. RMK saying Grubauer first game off IR, can't touch Colorado here. I agree completely. DX Filer also on the Preds at minus 1. I took the minus 1.5. And I love that you're on that spot. Andy Massari says you like the Blackhawks tonight and Whalecat per system plays Dallas minus 1.5. I agree if that's Whalecat per system play. I agree with it. I think that Dallas is going to win this game. And I think Dallas could go on the run even without Klingberg. All right. I did not bother with the Blackhawks-Canes game. Blackhawks are playing good hockey right now, and I don't trust them. And then NBA, man, I would like to make a move. Yes, I'd like it at 6.5, Chad. But don't pay extra juice to get it at 6.5. We can't take totals at minus 130. We have to completely cut them out. The only totals we can take are a max at minus 120. And that's the only way we'll succeed over a long period of time. RMK says Vegas Pinnacle is the over 6.5 at minus 112. Wow, it does. Bet365 brought it back 5 cents. Why would that be? Nutflesh Island, I did not get your prop. Can you give it to me here or is it on Twitter? Sorry, I just had the audible and I just haven't had a second to take a breath because I would like to take a breath and possibly make a move in NBA. I kind of want to make a move on these Blazers. I know why you like the Warriors. I liked them this morning. Let's just quickly, we got to move into college basketball. Let's just take a quick look. Portland, now a point or a point and a half dog. The 6.5s are almost all gone. Phoenix, Sacramento, I got to wait a little bit longer for some injury reports to come out. Oklahoma City, maybe I'm just going to have to lay off. I just can't rush and move here. I'll have to take some time. To study it. I wonder why it's gone down, RMK. And RMK didn't make that move, right? Maybe I should just not trust the Leafs at all. RMK is not on that over. All right, I'm going to not make a move. Okay, but I could come close to make. I don't like the 6.5s, and I got to get over it. But I don't like the 6.5s, and I'm not going to do it now. So let's Let's just say there's going to be no NBA action at this point. I'm on Eastern Michigan plus 5.5. I bet it at 5. I've got 8 games in NHL, and I really feel good about this card. And traditionally, we've done very good with heavy cards. We've done very good in the last 2.5 years on heavy cards. So let's get after. Top Set says, I'm telling you, NHL, I think we're going to have a big day. There's Justin Bilbo in the house. Guru went 4-0 Monday Night Football props. Own those babies. I went 0-2 in my props. Thank God for the under. Jeff Billing says, take Golden State. I bet 250 on them. I still may, but I just need time. And I know that Max is going to give me the action that I so desire. So why don't we bring in our guy, Maxwell Smart, coming off a tough Monday. But, man, what we saw is that Max can catch fire. He went up 20 units in 2 days last week. He's sitting plus 20 units overall, but coming off a 5-9 day, and I know he's itching to get back at it. Rafa, my man, can we roll the Maxwell Smart intro?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart in the house. How are you doing on this Tuesday evening, my man?
You know what? It's a huge card today, so obviously I'm really excited. Going to be able to watch a lot of college basketball, learn a lot of new things, and hopefully redeem myself, because yesterday was painstaking in my head, it was painstaking in my mouth, and I want to make up for how we did yesterday. So let's get right into it, Jim.
Let's get right into it. Let's start by popping up Max's overall college basketball record on the show. 20 games over 500, sitting up 13.9 units, and he's not happy about it, which is a great sign. 8.58% ROI. That's spectacular. 56% winners. Let's go to his best bets. His best bet lost last night, so we're sitting at 5-5 best bets, but we now have a plus 102 average line because he went for a big score. And then let's pop up my NCAA record. I'm coming off a 1-2 night, trying to figure out the best ways to tail Max and capping the capper and all those things that the legend Lodos Loshak has taught us. Ski Profit in the house, Dave Betts, Nutflush Allen Guru, Nick Allegretti. Let's get after it. Okay, the questions are coming in, Max, but let's start by breaking down what you have locked in already. Can you pick your first game, and then I'm going to get the list up. I'm a little behind because of the Audible. Actually, you know what? Let me feed you your first game, actually. How about we do that? Let's get to Maxwell Smart right now, and he's locked in a bunch of looks, official low bag plays. So let's get after it right now. The first low bag play that he locked in was 8 hours ago, and that was the Manhattan under. The Manhattan under. We're going to go through his plays first. I will then copy and paste all of the questions that come in. And Manhattan Sanford, this total opened up at 135. It's all the way up to 137. You got the under at 133.5. Break down why you like the under and why you think the market's going against you.
I think that the market's going against me because I don't think that they know who's playing. First off, Josh Sharkey hasn't played in 3 games for Sanford, and we've seen the results of that. It's been losses. Second off, the only 2 games that Sanford has won this year have been against non-D1 opponents. What did Manhattan do? They avenged the loss to Albany from last year, beat them at home. They beat Delaware State even though they didn't cover. And I like this under for a couple reasons. I like this under because Josh Sharkey, if he's not in the lineup, that gives me lots of questions with the guard play. Who's going to handle the ball? Who's going to direct the offense? And who can be counted on for offensive production out of the backcourt with this Sanford team? Since Sharkey's left the line, they've lacked ball pressure on ball handlers. They aren't forcing turnovers and steals. That's something that I've been used to watching this team for the past 2 years. So too much isolation from guys like Robert Allen and Jalen Dupree, but they're producing. I think that is bad offense. I think it's slower offense than we're used to seeing. And I think that with Manhattan, although they did try and run and gun with Delaware State, I think it was just an advantageous situation versus an opponent in a home opener. But Tyler Reynolds is shooting terrible from the field right now. 16% and 17% from the field and 3-point line respectively. And he's someone that I rely on to score for this team. I think that this team wins with defense. I think that they got to take less 3-point shots. I think that they got to get on Samford early. And by my numbers, they have a 5 to 6 first half point advantage. And if this team forces turnovers like I've watched them do in their first games, and they limit offensive rebounding opportunities and get out in transition, I think that Manhattan can score at a high enough efficiency rate for us to get this game to stay under. And because of Samford and their change in tempo with their personnel question marks, it makes me it makes me feel like I'm on the right side, even though the line's moved against me.
And then you would be telling the guys in our chat to make a move on it right now, then, if it's all the way up to 137.
Yeah, I would. I'd be taking it. So sometimes the line movement is wrong. I've had a couple games last night where that happened. So I think I just got to respect the capping and take the line movement into consideration.
I agree. There's his first look, Manhattan under. The next look on Max's card is the under in Pacific Coppin State. This opened up at 139. These are Pinnacle openers. I'll move over to 5 dimes in a second. It's now down to 136 at Pinnacle, but heavily juiced to the under. Max got in at 139.5 at minus 110. Why are you on the under in Coppin State Pacific?
All right, well, we know what Coppin State's been doing. They've been covering spreads. Really like them, but like them earlier than I do now. I think that this Coppin State team obviously is heavily reliant on the three-point shot, but when you got a guy like DeJuan Clayton and Kamar McKnight coming in, you're getting 29 points from them. You're getting free throws. You're getting some three-point makes. 48% of this team's shot attempts are from the three-point line. They're not hitting a good amount of them with 31 attempts a game, but they're hitting 7.8, and I think that's good enough to be reliant on an under, because if they were hitting over 10, that changes the situation a lot. Pacific is going to want to slow it down. They're not going to want to get into an up-and-down game, and that's what Coppin State tries to do. When they get a rebound, they want to get in transition and start moving the ball fast. They're not taking a lot of time off the shot clock if they have a good open look at it. And I think that Pacific's going to be able to play good man-to-man tight defense without fouling. And I think guys like Brock Finstuen, he's a really crafty guy. He's on defense, really good on-ball defender. He shifts and he reacts to screens quite nicely. And also on offense, when he gets the ball in his hand, he takes a lot of time off the clock. He's really slick with trying to get to the bucket. And I think that's advantageous for an under with both these teams tonight. I think that Pacific's three-point defense is going to come into key against Coppin State. I think that Pacific wants to slow it down, be selective with their shot attempts, minimize possessions, and get the ball to McRae down low. He's shooting 56%. He's averaging 10 points a game. I think that he can be exploited. And if you need a three-point threat when you need a bucket, you just go to Justin Moore. So in this game, I think that one team is going to be able to control tempo over the other. I think that the other team is inefficient in what they want to do offensively, and that screams to me that this is going to be a game that is going to be slow tempo, low shooting percentages, and go under.
There we have it. Pacific under 139.5. Our guy Robbie Tagaloa, the Samoan Thunder, also on that play on the Pacific under 139.5. AM says, what are the taints? What are the taints? I'll tell you what. Matt Randall gave us the Mississippi Valley State Louisiana Tech over this morning on the morning show at minus 154 at minus 110. It is now up to 160 at most of the books. Max jumped in for a plus line at 157.5 at plus 115. This is a double up spot for you, Max?
Yeah, this is a double up spot. This is it was a misline game this morning. It's more on par with what I had tonight. But Lindsey Hunter team's going to eventually learn how to play some defense. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's tonight. I think that Louisiana Tech brings some significant guard depth with guys like Caleb Ladeau, the McNeese State transfer. You got Daquan Bracey averaging 14 points per game. You got Archibald. You got Derek John. You got a lot of guard pieces, and it's not like they're just relying on the three-point line. They want to go for high percentage shots. They want to get to the line. They want to shoot volume free throws. They want to shoot close perimeter jump shots, and they want to penetrate every opportunity they get. And of course, with the three-point line being moved back, they're going to have opportunity against this defense. But we got to take a step back and realize Mississippi Valley State could score some points too. They scored over 75 versus Iowa State, and I think that with a guy like Mike Breen, who's shooting 42% from the three-point line and averaging close to 22 points per game, I think that Mississippi Valley State can do just enough to help us get over this if Louisiana Tech isn't ready to put up 100 points. I think that this game on the spread is something that I think Mississippi Valley State will be able to keep closer. But as far as when you open this line at 151, 152, and then I can get it at a plus price at what I got, it would just be ignorant for me not to hit it twice.
I love it. And that's what you did. Matt Randall got it at 154. Max got it there too, but he also got it at a plus line at 157.5, and it's all the way up to 160. Absolutely great job, Max. All right, more action for Max coming in right now, and let's find these rotation numbers and break it down. Navy Liberty opening up at minus 15.5, now minus 16.5 or minus 17. You got Liberty minus 15, minus 110. Why are you backing Liberty here?
Yeah, Liberty at home versus Navy. Navy losing Hassan Abdullah, and George Weeman. I can't remember his last name, excuse me. But this Navy team obviously is just reinventing themselves. We saw them play a decent game against George Mason, but it's been downhill ever since then. I think that with guys like John Carter Jr., you just don't have enough shooting. Obviously, he has an inside-the-arc shot that's highly consistent, but I just don't think that they move at a pace that they're going to be able to score efficiently versus Liberty. Liberty's playing a pack line defense. They're going to get back. They're not going to let you get out in transition. They're going to be solid on the defensive glass, and they're hitting 38% of their three-point shots. So you know that they can put up some points. They put up 77 versus ECU, and I think that they continue that kind of offensive streak tonight. I think that at 15 points, I think it's a reasonable number. I think that Liberty's going to be able to really dictate the pace. They're going to be able to control where the shot attempts are coming from, and I just can't I can't stay away from a team that plays under 30% three-point defense, has Elijah Cuffey and Kyle Road coming off the bench, and they're energetic defensive players. They can get out in transition. They can hit a jump shot. Everybody that's in the rotation right now for Liberty, for Richie McKay's team, is looking good, looking like they fit there, and I think that this team is going to be humming, and I think that I just want to be on them because I believe in what they're doing, and I think that they have March potential.
Backing Liberty here, beating a line move. Max on Liberty at minus 15. Our guy, killer capper, Lamont Williams says, give my homeboy Corey a shout out. Absolutely, Lamont, all the money you put in our pockets. What up, Corey? Thank you for watching the show. Let's keep hammering away here at Max's card. Next up, Max is backing George Mason, going up against Loyola, Maryland. George Mason opening up at minus 6.5, now minus 8.5, 9 or 9.5. Max got in at minus 7. Another very big market move that he's beating. Remember, if you follow Max on Twitter, you'll get all these plays first. George Mason minus 7, minus 110. Why are you backing George Mason here?
Yeah, George Mason's a real tough team at home. They're really balanced, even though they're missing Justin Keir and Ian Boyd. I think that with Jamal Hartwell and Jordan Miller and Javon Green, you have a catalyst of different guys that can do different things on a different night versus a given opponent. I think, obviously, with this Loyola Maryland team, let's not fall in love with them. They had a great comeback the other night at home, led by Andrew Kostaka in a 30-point game. But Kostaka, you got to force him into bad passes, mistakes, turnovers, missed shots, not taking advantage of transition opportunities, which is what he did in the comeback victory on the weekend. I think that tonight on the road, he's going to have a little bit more trouble doing that because A.J. Wilson will be in the middle protecting the rim. He's done a fantastic job this year, and I think that with the depth pieces for this Loyola Maryland team, it just doesn't inspire me in this particular matchup versus George Mason, who is just tougher on the perimeter, tougher on the three-point line, and they use the length on the glass to get their best advantage, which is rebound, transition, and then controlling offensive tempo. So as long as they're not turning the ball over to Loyola Maryland, I think that they have a comfortable victory tonight.
Next up, and Top said asking about maybe backing them first half, backing George Mason first half. What do you think of backing them -4.5 first half?
I actually have my list of I wrote it out. At George Mason, I had them at a +8 value on the first half. So at -4, there's a good enough edge to back that by my numbers. That's just by my numbers.
I love it. All right, next up, Max jumped on UTEP, opening up a -1 now, -2, -2.5 against New Mexico. UTEP, you got in at -1 and -105. Why are you backing UTEP at home here?
So this UTEP team is just highly impressive to me. I know they've only played one serious opponent, and that was New Mexico State the other day in a serious rivalry game. But they're in another rivalry game playing against another team from their general area, and I think that they're going to be up to the task tonight. A lot of people are really loving this New Mexico offense. I'm included. I'm impressed with it. They got literally 2 lineups of guys that they can throw at you. Corey Manigault, Zane Martin coming off the bench, and they're averaging 26 points per game together. You're not even talking about Carlton Bragg averaging 11-11 or Jaquan Lyle averaging 19 points coming from Ohio State and sitting for 2 years. But this UTEP team, coached by Rodney Terry, they play such lockdown defense. They have pieces that can score the basketball. This is a team that has been meshed together, a team of scout transfers versus the team of recruits, and they have meshed together. I think they're going to freaking dominate Conference USA. This is a game that they want. This is a game that they have revenge from, and I think that as long as they avoid fouls, defend the offensive glass, and force turnovers with deflections and freaking bad passes and not recognizing the shot clock. Like, these are the types of things that UTEP is capable of doing. They have to do against an offensively potent team tonight, and they have to score. I think they do both. I think they hold home court, and I think that they get this cover for me.
There you go. UTEP cover. UTEP cover opening at -1 now, 2 or 2.5. I'm going to tail this UTEP look here. I'm going to tail UTEP look. It's going to be the first one that I tail. Let's move on to the next spot on Max's card. I am copying and pasting all the questions, and we're going to get to the marquee games as well. Don't worry about a thing. We're moving at a nice pace here. We got lots of time still. Next up is a spot that our guy Sean Williams is on as well. If you watch and only play the games that Sean Williams and Max are on, you will be cashing. In saying that, Sean Williams is also against you in that last play, New Mexico UTEP. He is on New Mexico. Maybe that might make me pump the brakes for a second, but your breakdown was very thorough. He is on Brown, though, as are you. Brown opened up at -1.5, now -2.5. You got them -2, -110. Why are you on Brown?
Yeah, pretty simple. Brandon Anderson has absolutely wowed me, averaging 27 points per game, taking over for Desmond Cambridge flawlessly. Add Taming Cho to that, and he's averaging a double-double. This is a team that shoots 73% from the free throw line, 33% from the three-point line, and they're forcing +8 turnovers versus the Sacred Heart team. What my problem with the Sacred Heart team, which I didn't anticipate before the season, was that they were going to have guard hierarchy problems, guard consistency problems, guard three-point shooting problems, and that's what's occurred. They came out of their shell a little bit last game. I just don't trust it yet. I think that this is a team that definitely is going to hit their free throws at 75%. They're going to hit hopefully more than 30% of the three-point shots, but they're only hitting 26% now. It's just not a team that I can trust even at home in their home opener. I think that Brown defensively is able to control E.J. Ananowski and stop Jarrell Spellman from dominating the glass. And I think that Brown goes in and shows why the Ivy League is rated so highly amongst the other conferences in D1 basketball.
Wow. It's a very interesting breakdown. I'm close to joining you guys with Brown -2. Let's keep rolling. And sorry I don't have it perfectly teed up for you. I'm just figuring out which place I'm going to tail. Your next look is Delaware up against St. Francis, Pennsylvania. St. Francis opening up at -2.5. Now Delaware is 2.5-point favorites. We have a 5-point swing to Delaware. You got Delaware on the money line at +105. Why are you backing Delaware on the road here?
Yeah, Delaware definitely handed to me when I bet against them again in the Lafayette game. I learned my lesson. I watched that game. I watched Nate Darling. The JUCO transfer reminds me of the situation that we saw last night with Belmont and Kunkel. I think that this kid is ready to go. I think that you add Ryan Allen and Kevin Anderson to that, and I think that you just have an explosive offense that also can defend. I think that Delaware is going to be able to use size to their advantage tonight. I think that obviously 3-point defense is key against guys like Isaiah Blackman, keeping Keith Braxton out of the transition, out of the paint, because that's where he does a lot of his work. This is a game where I just see an even matchup, but I see a road warrior, a road-tested Delaware team. And listen, they're undefeated on the road. They played neutral court games. They played true road games. I'm ready to go with this team, and I think that tonight they're going to prove why the line flipped in this game. And as long as they can keep St. Francis off the free throw line, as long as they defend the 3-point line like they have been. And this is a team that plays 40 minutes. St. Francis had a couple games already this year where they've only played 20. So in my mind, it's Delaware or pass. And I like the over also in that game, so I'd like to add that as well.
All right, I'm going to line shop for you on the over. While I'm doing that, the last play that Max got out early is Kansas State minus 26 at minus 105. Kansas State minus 26 at minus 105. Let me pull that up right now. Where I just had it in front of me. Against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Kansas State opening up at 25.5, now 26.5 across the board. There's a couple 27s. This total opened up 120, now 119.5. Max, why are you backing Kansas State here?
Yeah, this was a hard spot for me to actually put out, but I think that it's a spot that I can get. I think that this is a team that you can stop if you stop Sean Doss. Yeah, this is a team that shoots 58% from the free throw line. This is a team that shoots 25% from the 3-point line and allow opponents to shoot 49% from the field. Against a Kansas State team that we're used to seeing really not be offensive explosive, but be defensively dominant, using defense to score points. I think that's what we're going to get in this game. I think that with Carter Diarra and Xavier Sneed, you have two solid pieces that can do different things. One can score and distribute. One can score and get on the glass. You got depth on this team. You got 8 guys playing 15 minutes plus a game, and it's just imperative that you get off to a good start. This is a Kansas State team that's had trouble starting. They are losing first halves by an average of 5 points. And if they get a good start in this game against a very offensively one-dimensional and weak, in my mind, team, I think that they can go and take care of business easily. So all they got to do is really focus on 2-point scoring. Forget about the 3-point line. It's not working for them right now. Get to the free throw line, penetrate, use your size, get these guys into foul trouble, and score ugly and win this game in a way that probably doesn't make ESPN's highlights.
I got you an over 140 at plus 100. That was available at Bet365 in the Delaware game. Over 140 at plus 100. That's Max's action. So we're sitting here at 5:06. We have Max's additional plays, we have questions, and then we have Max's play of the day that we still have to do. That's the situation. Shout out to Stat Guap rolling with us. In the chat for Lamont, I'm going to first put out all of Matt Randall's plays in the chat. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put out my NHL plays in the chat. I will be doing that while we get the additions from Maxwell Smart here. That's the plan. Max, let's get after it right now. What is your first addition to your card? Oh, Max, we need you. Okay.
Sorry.
No,
sorry. Muted myself.
It's all good.
I think we should be used to me doing that, but yes. Okay, so the first game that I want to get on as an addition is going to be. Let me look through my list here. It's going to be this Furman game. So I've already bet the total, but the total's moved way too much for me to suggest getting on it now, even though I do think that there's going to be a lot of offense in this game. The way that I'm looking at it is Furman's not getting respect. Furman's not getting respect for the defense that they play, and they're not getting respect for the balanced scoring that they have. I'm looking at them on the first half if I can get +2 or better.
All right, let's get you Furman first half right now. A lot of moving parts to this card. Furman first half. Come to me. Where are you, Furman? We're running out of time. Do you know? There we go, Furman, Alabama. Yes, you can get 2. I can get you 2 first half. Let's go to point spreads. Our guy M. Holland is on the Furman money line. Daryl Lyles is on Furman. Red Girls on Furman full game under. Let's grab this Furman for you. +2 first half. The best I can get you is -105. +2, -105. That sound good?
Yes, it does.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is we're going to go with FIU -3.5 in the first half. This FIU team obviously is not going to play with the same kind of pace that we've seen from last year, but I think in this game versus this opponent in Cleveland State, you got a team that really doesn't have an identity and really has to throw the dice into the onto the freaking board to really have a chance at this game. And from a consistency standpoint, I just don't see where Cleveland State's really going to be able to depend on any kind of scoring. So in this game, I do like FIU full game, but I like the first half better because I do think that they have at least a 7-point advantage. So with that kind of edge, it was something that I had to play.
Yes, something that you had to play. Let's lock it in for you right now. FIU first half, there's a -3.5 and -115 at Intertops and 5 Dimes. Those are the only books hanging at 3.5. That sound good?
Yes, sir.
FIU -3.5. What's next, Max?
Yeah, so I'm going to double up in the Liberty game. Make it pretty easy peasy. If I can get -9 on Liberty, I'd be quite happy because I believe that they have close to a 13-point advantage in this first half.
Liberty -9, you can get that, but it's at -127. Very expensive at Pinnacle. They don't want you to take it. 9.5 at -110 or 9 at -127.
9 I want the -110 line. I don't want the -127.
We're getting Furman, or sorry, excuse me. We are getting Liberty -9.5 first half and -110. What's next, Max?
What was I gonna give? So this Lafayette game, this may be a little bit of a reach, but I'm gonna make it an official play anyways because it's been doing good to me. Lafayette first half. They're going up against Penn tonight. Obviously, Penn has some weapons in Brodeur and Goodman, but I think that this Lafayette team has really shown an ability to score the basketball efficiently. With Miles Cherry, Justin Jaworski, and Kyle Stout, I think that this is enough for Lafayette to at least stay competitive and win the first half. So I'm going to take Lafayette in the first half if I can get +3.5 or better.
Let's get it for you right now. Lafayette, first half. I can get you +3.5 at -110.
I'll take it.
All right, there we go. Lafayette, first half, +3.5 at -110. Is there anything else you want to add to your card?
There's one more addition that I'd like to add, and that is going to be the Charleston first half. Going up against Marshall. Listen, I have a lot of respect for Jared West and Tavion Kinsey and who Tavion Kinsey is going to turn into by the end of the season. But tonight against Grant Riller, this is the real deal. This is a potential All-American guard, and I think that he's gonna be ready. He's gonna be game because he's gonna know what's at stake here. Tavion Kinsey and Jared West on the other side versus Grant Riller. I still take Grant Riller. I think that they come out of the first half where I think that they have a 9-point advantage, and I think they dominate from the get-go.
Wow, dominate from the get-go. Charleston first half -1 at -110. So why do you want Charleston first half instead of Charleston full game?
I think that obviously with college basketball, you have a lot of tale of two halves. With this Charleston game, I think that there is the numbers so far in the season support it. also with Grant Riller, if you've never played against him before, you don't know what he can do on the floor. And I think that watching and seeing it for the coaching staff will give them a better indication of how they can try and attempt to stop him in the second half. College basketball is often a tale of two halves, and how a team plays in the first half compared to how a team plays in the second half matters to me and matters to my capping. That's what got me on the Furman pick compared to Alabama.
Okay, I'm going to tail Charleston first half -1 at -110. I'm also going to take Brown full game. I can't get the 2 that you got. I'm going to get -2.5 for Brown full game at -110. -2.5 at -110. At this point, that's all I'm going to be on. But that could change. That could definitely change. So I'm going to keep an eye on everything. I can't put a list of 8 games on the chat right now. There's just too much going on. So I'm just going to quickly go over my NHL as fast as possible one more time for the people who are asking. I'm on the Panthers -1 at +123. I'm on the Canadians, Blue Jackets under 6 at -104. I'm on the Red Wings -1. That's a -115 money line and a +203 puck line. I'm on the Lightning -1 at +147. I'm on the Lightning Blues under 6.5 at -115. I'm on the Predators -1.5 at +135. And I'm on the Stars -1 at +122, and I'm on the Flames -1. That's a -129 money line and a puck line of +195. That, my friends, is my NHL action. All right, Max, we have questions and we have some exciting spots that we want to ask you about. But let's get into the questions right off the top, and let me get to them all. And thank you for your patience, those of you who asked questions. The first person to jump in was Nick Allegretti. Said, ask Maxwell about San Fran -10. Says, I feel this is a great game. Let's go to spreads and totals and pull up San Fran's spot right now. Go down to the bottom of the page. Cal State, Bakersfield, San Francisco. 10s across the board. There are some 10.5s, and this total opened up at 136, now 135.5. Max, Cal State, Bakersfield, San Francisco.
I love San Francisco tonight. I'll take it back. I don't love it. I actually think that's a really good play. First off, this San Francisco team is very efficient offensively. 76% from the line, 55% from the field as a team. The offensive rebounding percentage is 36th in the nation. They're not committing turnovers, but they're not forcing turnovers. That's my one issue with them. They have a decent average possession, so they're getting into the offense quickly, and I think that at home, it's a very advantageous spot. I love Charles Minlin. I think that Jimbo Lall, obviously I wish I was as tall as him. I think he's done a great job so far this year from the field. 54%, I think that's great. And I think that there's also a guy named Jamari Bouya. Probably butchered his name. I butcher a lot of names. But I think that this is a kid that I think can really step it up and be that Robin to Charles Minlin's Batman. If not, Khalil Shabazz is ready to go, and he's already pretty efficient when it comes to the amount of shots that he's taking on this team. He's taking 29% of the shots. And I think that when it comes to his turnover rate, that's pretty impressive also. So this San Francisco team, obviously they got to stay out of foul trouble, but I like the lineup that they got going down here. It's just a matter of how much Trevante Anderson plays, how much Remu Ratnan plays. These are guys that I want to see more of, and I think that the more you expand the bench, the better the San Francisco team is going to be, and I like them at double digits.
Next question comes in from Trenton Claxton. Our guy Trenton wants to know about South Carolina. He says, ask Max about South Carolina. Boston University, South Carolina, rotation number 579, 580. South Carolina opening at -15. They're now 15.5s on the board. This total opened up at 140, and now we have 139.5s on the board. Max, Boston University, South Carolina.
Yeah, I think that this game is a side that I had a little bit of trouble with. I was leaning towards Boston University, and I was having a little bit of trouble actually pulling the trigger because I watched Max Mahoney and Walter White the other night. They did not look good. I think that against South Carolina's defense, they could have a little bit more trouble, you know. Obviously, I'm a little biased towards my fellow Canadian, A.J. Lawson, but with Malik Kotsar, Justin Minya, and T.J. Moss there, I think that you still have a lot of nice pieces pieces that have shown in the early part of the season that they're capable of playing a little bit more fast-paced game, a little bit slow-tempo game, and really dictating what's going to be beneficial to them. I think that if I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at Boston University on the spread, but I would be looking at a first half South Carolina play. I think that's where they have the advantage. I had South Carolina at a good spot up until 11 points. So if they're at 8.5 or 9, you still have a little bit of wiggle room and maybe a 2.5 point edge. And that's the play that I'd be looking to make.
That is the play that Max would be looking to make. The next question comes in from Xavier Wayne. Says, Jimmy, can you ask Max about the Wyoming under? And man, have we seen this drop fast. Rotation number 675, 676, Detroit Mercy, Wyoming. It opened at 138. It's all the way down to 132.5, Max. What do you think about him getting in on this under now? Is it too late?
To be quite frank, I was looking the other way. I know that Wyoming plays a very slow pace, 20 seconds. They're taking off every shot clock on average, which is, I think, second worst in the nation. This is a team that turns the ball over. The effective field goal percentage is terrible, so that shows you that Hunter Maldonado is trying to do it by himself, and it's really not working. He's 2 for 15 from three-point range. Hunter Thompson, he's not doing any better. He's shooting 21%. I think, obviously, you got to rely on Jake Hendricks to come through, and he hasn't come through. I'm waiting for this Wyoming offense to wake up. I think that tonight against Detroit, I think that they have the opportunity to. And how do you take an under with Antoine Davis in the game? Antoine Davis obviously is shooting terrible from the three-point range to start the season, but he's still getting to the free throw line. He's still getting his shots inside the perimeter, and it's just a matter of who else comes to play for Detroit. That's my worry, but I think that they've really come to realize that if Antoine Davis gets maybe like 50% of the shots, I think that they're in a good position. This is a game that I can't really point you in either direction just because I'd be playing this game purely on an edge and what I've seen from both these teams. And Wyoming's going to wake up offensively one game. It could be tonight at home versus Detroit, who's going to want to run and gun and speed the pace up.
I have been copying and pasting all the questions, so rest assured I've got you already, Mohammed, in line. Geg Harday, I got you too. Nilo, I'll copy and paste that in 1 second. The next question comes from Sean Glass. What's Max's thought on Arkansas? Texas Southern, Arkansas 23.5 point favorites. It's been there all day. Bookmakers moved it to 24. This total's gone up from 147.5 to 149.5 or 150. Max, Texas Southern, Arkansas. Sean Glass wondering if you should pull the trigger on Arkansas.
Yeah, this was a game that I looked at briefly. I was looking towards the over in this game, but there were some people that I respect that were on the other side. The reality is, if Isaiah Joe isn't hitting three-point shots for this team, you're not going to get him from Desi Sills. You're not going to get him at a good enough rate from Mason Jones. Jimmy Witt's not that type of guy, but I think that with the way that Arkansas is playing, you would think that this game would be going under and that they would be able to stop Texas Southern from scoring. But I think that the way that Arkansas is really playing is they want to get to the line. They want to get high percentage shots. A lot of the guys in their starting lineup and that are playing off the bench, that's what their numbers are reflecting. And I think that when you have some pretty good depth, when you got guys like Jalen Harris, you got Gentile Sela, the UNC Greensboro, Wilmington transfer, you got some guys that you can really rotate in and out of this lineup to dictate what you want to do against a particular opponent. And I think that this Texas Southern team, they're just they don't want to slow it down. They want to go as fast as possible. Eden Ewing, Tyreek Armstrong, these are guys that want to score at a fast pace. I think that Texas Southern tries their best to speed the pace up. I don't know if they're offensively efficient enough against Arkansas's defense to cover the spread, but I do think that the game's going to be going over. But it's not an official play or anything.
Not a official play right now. Next question comes in from Noel Viscarando. He wants to know about Nicholls State. We already have people asking about Rhode Island. Raymond Reichart wanting to know about Rhode Island. So we are combining Noel and Raymond's action here. So let's break this spot down. Rhode Island opening up at minus 14.5, 12.5 now at Pinnacle, 12 everywhere else. Total opening up at 147.5, all the way down to 144. Max, Nicholls State, Rhode Island.
Yeah, I think that Nicholls State's just not getting enough respect. I think that they've really impressed. They opened my eyes when they took my money in the Pittsburgh game. And I think that they are really playing that kind of underdog role, and they're not getting that national attention. I think that this game is misaligned. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of love and respect for Rhode Island. I think Rhode Island's going to do some good things this year. I think they're going to win this game. I just don't know if I think that they're winning this game by 14. We've seen Jeff Dowden really take on a more scoring role, really try and get the ball to the bucket. And Fats Russell, he's improved his three-point shooting a little bit. He's really taken it to the line a lot, which I like to see because that's what his best strength is. But this game really comes down to what you can do with Cyril Langevin. If you can stop Langevin from doing what he does from the field and from the free throw line, I think that you can stay within this number. I think that even with guys like the freshman Jacob Toppin coming off the bench, I just don't think that you're going to get the kind of offensive production that you're going to be blowing people out by. This is a short rotation. I look for Mekhi Long also to get some minutes in this game, but his shooting's just not warranted it yet. But this is a game that Rhode Island's definitely got to come out strong, coming off that Alabama win. There is a letdown spot, and if they don't know about Nicholls State, they could get stung tonight. I think that they end up winning the game. I don't think that they cover the opening line number.
There you have it. Interesting breakdown, interesting spot. All right, Tonio wanting to go back to this Alabama spot, and let's do that. That was Furman, Alabama, I believe, and other people talking about it. This total opening up at 151 is up to 153 at some books, and Tonio wondering if he should try to get under 153 in Furman, Alabama.
Yeah, well, with this number moving the way that it has, of course, there's always the thinking that you can go the other way. I saw this line open in the 140s, so moving 6 points definitely warrants a move like that, and I believe that Red Girl also feels the same way. Last time Red Girl and I were on and under together, we cashed it by the hook, so I think that that's a good way to play it. That's a good contrarian way to play it, but it's not going to be on my board as of yet.
Next question from Tonio is whether he should pull the trigger on the under 147 in Charleston Marshall. We already know that you are on Charleston first half, and I tailed that bet. What do you think of Tonio hammering the under here?
Yeah, I think that it fits, but you have to think about what that line opened at, and I believe it opened in the 150s, and now you're getting 147s and 146s coming across the board. I think that if you ask me, there is a good possibility of it staying under the number, but from a plus even perspective, I think that you missed the line on it. That's just how I feel about it.
I agree. Okay, let's keep moving. We got lots of questions, and we're already going to get to the best bet. We're going to get to the best bet as well. The next question from Tonio is whether he should try to get under this number in Florida International Cleveland State. It opened at 149 and 5 dimes. It's up to 150.5 there, 151.5 at Pinnacle, and he's wondering if he should try to get under it. FIU Cleveland State.
Yeah, I was looking that way as well because obviously Florida International is not playing in that kind of pace. But if they're dictating the pace and they're going to be the more offensively efficient team, I'm a little worried about taking the under. It's something that I'm going to try and look at if I have available on one of my 5 or 6 online sports books. I will be trying to bet that total live. But pregame, I'm a little concerned with the line moving, and based on my capping, I had this game a little less than 150.
Next question. For some reason I didn't copy and paste the person who asked this question. I apologize about that, but I have the question here. And it's, what about Central Connecticut versus New Hampshire? Says Central has not covered since the start of the season. Central Connecticut opened as 4.5-point dogs, now 5.5-point dogs. This total's dropped from 140 to 136 max. New Hampshire, Central Connecticut State.
Yeah, this is a game that I bet on the overnight lines. I took New Hampshire on the spread. I think that New Hampshire obviously just is not a strength team by any means, but I think that matchup-wise against Central Connecticut State, I think that that's the only play that I could have made. I do not have faith in this team winning any games yet in Central Connecticut State. So when I looked at this line, it was New Hampshire passed, and I didn't pass on New Hampshire. As far as the total, with an opening at 140 and being down to 136.5, I think that you're trending in the right direction, but I think that you missed the best of the number. And with these lines being out for almost 24 hours now, that's what's going to happen. So I believe this game goes under. I just can't push you onto it at 136.5, even though I think it stays under that.
Okay, let's keep rolling. The next question is from our Muhammad Joma, wanting to know about the Citadel Southeast Missouri State total. It does, should we try to go over it? But it opened at $5 at 161.5, and it's 166 there now. 165.5 at Pinnacle. Should you still try to get over the Citadel Southeast Missouri State total?
Listen, if you are watching the game and you're watching with your family, you want to have some action on it, then yeah, you should hit that over. But if you're doing this on a long-term basis, like I know Muhammad Joma is, you got to just lay off, my friend. You got to lay off of it. I think that you missed the line. This line opened 7 or 8 points than what it is right now. Even though I believe that Citadel doesn't play a lot of defense, there's got to be a cutoff at some point when we're talking about these teams that want to run up and down, score the basketball, but by the stats wise, don't do it efficiently. So I can't tell you to take it. I can't tell you to take it at this line. I think it goes over. It was one of the plays that I saw that a lot of people were on overnight. I didn't pull the trigger fast enough either, and I've literally just had to sit on my hands the whole day and just stay away from it.
The second question from Muhammad Joma is, should he first half, full game, Gonzaga? Gonzaga opening up as 21.5-point favorites. It's up to 25 at bookmaker, 24.5 at 5 times. This total opened up at 144. It's up to 145 or 146, 145.5 as well. Should he first half, full game, Gonzaga?
Well, this is another situation where I think that Gonzaga routes. I think that Gonzaga takes care of business, but we're missing lines. We're missing lines. I got on this at 22.5. I see it 24.5 right now. I think that after watching UTA versus Oregon the other night and cashing it under, I think that Gonzaga is going to be head and shoulders ready to take care of business against UTA. I think that they do cover the first half. I think that they do cover the full game. I think that Gonzaga has a 16 to 20 point advantage in the first half. So if you can get minus 13, you can get minus 14. Minus 13.5 probably would be like minus 13.5 to minus 14 would be my cutoff for this. Then I support it because I think that Gonzaga wipes the floor with UTA tonight.
I agree. And Dan Kelly says it best, says chasing lines is not a long-term smart thing to do. Next question comes from our guy, Arthur Mead Jr. Says, Daytona versus Nebraska, Omaha. Could you help there? Daytona opening up at minus 15, now minus 16.5. This total opening up at 144.5 now, 146, 146 now for 147. Max, Nebraska, Omaha, Dayton.
Yeah, this was a game, Arthur, that I only really looked at from a first half perspective. I thought that if I can get a line of a +5 or better with Omaha, it'd be something that I'd be interested in laying. I believe that Dayton, obviously with Obi Toppin and Jalen Crutcher and company, are offensively talented and can do really good things in the A-10 this year. But I do think that this Omaha team, getting a good performance from guys like Zach Thornhill, maybe KJ Robinson steps it up. There's a bunch of guys that have really tried to step into the role of Zach Jackson and Mitch Hahn from last year, including Matt Pyle. I think that Omaha at least stays in this game for the first half. As far as the full game, I really don't have a strong enough edge to point you in a direction. And I was leaning towards the over, but I didn't pull the trigger myself. Seeing the 2.5-point line movement does give me a little more solace in that, though.
The next question comes from our guy Geghard A, and it's the total that everybody wants to talk about. Vermont, Virginia, opening up at 114, now down to 110 at Heritage, Max. 110. What do you think about this spot?
Yeah, this is a spot where you had to have taken the under early. What have we seen from Virginia? That teams just do not know how to score the basketball against this team. You got J. Huff and Diakite with their length. Kie Clark is a solid point guard. We're seeing it already. Obviously, Casey Morsel's been a problem, and then they have point guard depth issues. I think that if Virginia falls behind, this total could be in trouble. I don't anticipate them falling behind against Vermont. Vermont's been shooting the basketball terribly. They're very reliant on Anthony Lamb right now to score the basketball because he's the only one doing it at a decent percentage. We've gotten very poor performances out of Robin and Everett Duncan, the two remaining Duncan brothers. Steph Smith, the Ajax Ontario resident, is not playing up to par. His three-point shot is way off. You're not getting any kind of offensive production from Daniel Giddens, the Alabama transfer. So the only way to play this total would be under. But from a value perspective, you missed it. Minus 110 at under 110. It's just like something I can't push it towards, even though I think that this game still stays under.
Next question comes in from Christopher Comentini. Says, can you ask Max about Houston minus 12.5? Houston Rice. Houston opening up at 12, now 12.5 or 13. This total stuck at 145. What do you think about backing Houston on the road here?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about backing Houston on the road. When I watched that BYU game, obviously it had a good ending the other way. But you know what? I think that if Houston's going to fall behind against Rice, they're going to have problems. I think that obviously on paper this Rice team doesn't really stand out and impress you, but they do just enough to stay within the number. It's a spot where I prefer to stay away from altogether. I prefer to watch it, and if I can bet it live, that's the only way I'd like to play it.
Next up is from Noel Viscarando, wanting to know about Nevada this evening. He's not the only one. Dem boys wanting to know what about Nevada covering here this evening. Let me pull up where Nevada is on this card. I don't know why I can't find it right now.
7 o'clock game against Davidson.
Oh, okay, perfect. If it's there, it is Nevada Davidson. Thank you. Davidson opening up at 7.5. Now they're 9 or 9.5 point favorites. This total went from 144.5 up to 148.5. Do you agree with it? The market moved to the over and the market moved towards Davidson.
I agree with the market move to the over, and I don't agree with the market move towards Davidson. Listen, we all know that I was a bit of a Nevada Wolfpack homer last year, loving the Martin twins and Jordan Caroline. But that's changed. Steve Alford's the coach. I hate Steve Alford. I think he's a cuck. But the fact is, Lindsey Drew and Jazz Johnson have ran this goddamn team. Throw in Jalen Harris. You got 3 guys that can shoot 40% from the three-point line. They salivate in being an underdog. I think that they're coming off a tough game against USC. They fought hard, but the fact was they're playing against a team that had a dominant front court, and that's something that they just don't have. They don't have the front court pieces. KJ Himes, Zane Meeks, John Carlos Reyes, the Boston College graduate transfer, Robbie Robinson, the foul maker. They're just useless when it comes to the front court. They can't produce when it comes to scoring. It's just sad and pathetic. But I think that this Nevada team does a lot of the same things that Davidson does well. They don't have the size in the backcourt up against Davidson, but I definitely think they can score and play at a pace that gets this game over first off and stays within the numbers. So I'd be looking at Nevada, or I'd be passing on the spread.
All right, looking for Nevada or pass. There's my guy Guillermo with the question. Only one question in front of him. That comes from the Icon. Icon wanting to know about this total in Seattle Ole Miss. It's gone from 141.5 all the way down to 135, and now it's at 135, and he's still interested in the under. What do you think about trying to get under this number 135 in Seattle Ole Miss?
Yeah, well, I believe that it was the right move where the line went. I thought that this was very indicative of what Coach Kermit's trying to do with this Ole Miss Rebel team is slow the pace down, move the ball with like fierce fucking speed, and utilize the shot clock, get your opponents out of position, and then go in attack. I think that obviously you have some pieces in Breen, Tyree, and Schuler to do that. I think that the problem is for Ole Miss is who else is going to be stepping up. I think that the under is definitely the play to make in this game because Seattle, they're not looking to run and gun with you. They're not that efficient of an offensive team to begin with also. So the under would be the play that I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at Ole Miss also covering because I think that the defense is going to lead the offense, but it's not a play that I can advocate you making when there's been a 5-point move.
Agreed. We are almost getting to the play of the day. We have questions coming in. The next from our guy Guillermo wanting to know about Fairfield, Maryland. Maryland opening up at minus 26. Now there's 24s at 23.5 on the board at Bookmaker. There's total of 132.5 down to 131.5. Depending on where you shop, 6th ranked Maryland here. You got Flash 9 on Maryland futures. What do you think of them tonight?
Yeah, listen, I think Maryland's a complete team. I've said this over and over again. That's not going to change. The fact is, with Anthony Cowan healthy running the show, you have a solid point guard that gets to the free throw line, shoots efficiently from the field, even though he's got to improve his three-point shot. Jalen Smith's a potential All-American, and I think that when you get Angela Chol back, I think that this team's going to be even more dominant. I think that you just have so many pieces. What the hell are they going to – what's Fairfield going to do about it? Fairfield ain't going to do nothing about it except lay down, get smacked around, and take it you-know-where. Because Maryland is on a mission, and they can't have a slip-up. Like, what, Jesus Cruz going to do something? Landon Taliaferro? No, thank you. I'm not taking anything with that Fairfield team. It's Maryland or pass for me, but nothing on the total because at 130s, in the 130s, it's not anything that you have value either taking the over or under with. In the 140s, then you have a little bit of undervalue that you can take.
Some great stuff in the chat here. We're almost through all the questions. It's almost time for us to get to the play the day. But first, Chris Brady wanting to ask Max about Pepperdine plus 11.5 against USC. That opened at 10, now is at 11.5. This total opened up 149.5, now 150.5 or 151. Do you think that this is a spot to back Pepperdine?
Yeah, I think that the Malibu Beach Warriors are going to come in and they're going to want this game a little more than USC. I think that when you have guys that have been there for multiple years, they understand what it means to go down to the Coliseum and play. And I think that we're going to see a good Pepperdine game. I think that this is a team that with Chavez, the junior college transfer coming in, having the freaking Edwards brothers healthy, I think that you got enough offense. I think that you got enough defense and you got enough pace to keep this number within the game. USC will oblige you either way which is my impression of them so far this year. And I think that the young guys on that USC team are going to take this Pepperdine team lightly, and I think that they're going to be able to sneak within the number.
Thinks they're going to stick within the number. I am adding one play in the association. And I may be more, but I'm adding C.J. McCollum, points, assists, and rebounds over 35.5 at minus 115. Over 35.5 minus 115. I don't have time to line shop. That's what I will bet it at. That's a Bet365. There we go. And right now, take it easy. The last words I got from Baines were not good. Quickly, the last words from Baines is questionable. So still questionable. Okay, we've come to the time of the day, Max. Incredible job breaking down this card. What a treat it is to work with you every day, my man. What is your play of the day?
All right, so we got to improve these plays of the days. I hate having to go with a total on this game, but it just screamed in my face. It's like, Max, open your eyes. Look at me. UTEP, New Mexico. How do we take a New Mexico game to go under? I don't know. And I'm not going to today. So I'm taking New Mexico, UTEP over. UTEP can score. UTEP wants to play defense, but that doesn't mean they're going to be able to stop New Mexico from running up and down a little bit. And I'm not expecting 160s, but I think we can get over 144. So I'm going to make that my play of the day. New Mexico, UTEP, over 144, Jim.
There are no 144s available.
God
sadly.
damn it.
The best you can get is at Heritage over 146 at minus 105.
All right, let's do it then. I know I just preached fucking taking the best of the line, but that was my best play of the day, and now it would literally take me 30 more seconds to find my second one.
New Mexico UTEP over 146 at minus 105. You know what? I'm going to live and die and go down with the Max's best bets throughout the year. I'm only on 3 of Max's plays. We're going to go over everything right now. But Brian Zuniga wants quickly to know about Kansas Jayhawks minus 14.5. Why don't we end with that very quickly? Kansas Jayhawks minus 14.5. I just had that in front of me. East Tennessee State versus Kansas. Kansas opening up minus 14, now minus 15. What do you think about backing Kansas here?
Yeah, my thing with Kansas is how fast are they going to start? How are they going to shoot from the three-point line? Is ETSU going to start fast? Because what we've seen so far this year is that they haven't been. They do have that game against Winthrop that we thought that they were going to lose. They ended up coming back and winning. I don't think that this ETSU team is going to be able to play with Kansas for a full 40 minutes. I think that Kansas finds a way to get the cover. It's just not something that I want to bet on because I think that this ETSU team is uber talented and uber freaking filled with guys that can do different things like Hodges and Rodriguez. But I think that this is just a step up in class that may be a little too much for ETSU.
All right, let's go over our action. And StatQuap, that is Max's best play. That's his best play today, the UTEP over. In NHL, I am on the Panthers minus 1 at plus 123. I am on the Canadiens Jackets under 6 at minus 104. I'm on the Red Wings minus 1. I'm not sure. It's a nice plus line, minus 115 and plus 203. I'm on the Lightning minus 1 and plus 147. I'm on the under 6.5 in Tampa Bay, St. Louis. I'm on the Predators minus 1.5 at plus 135. And I am on the Stars minus 1 at plus 122. And the Flames minus 1, which is another nice plus line, minus 129 and a plus 195. In college football, I'm on Eastern Michigan plus 5.5 for show purposes. I bet it at 5. In NBA, I'm only on CJ McCollum over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists at minus 115. Rich G says, what's your best look in NHL? I would say that it's Tampa Bay Lightning minus 1 is my best look in NHL. Stucci's going up against me in the Blues game. I hope you got it at 6. Because I got that at 6.5. I really like that under. Lanil saying Tampa smacked for the big score. I like that. The risk and reward. It always is about that. And getting that plus 147 is very nice. Here is the taint play of the day. Max is on it too. Louisiana Tech, Mississippi Valley State over 154.5. Max doubled down at 157 at the plus line. It's now up to 160. Chris Brady, that's my favorite bet. The Lightning minus 1 at a plus line, not the Lightning money line at a minus line. No, I need the plus line. And then here we go on Max's action. He is on Manhattan under 133.5 at minus 110. Pacific under 139.5 minus 110. He doubled up on the taint play of the day. He's on UTEP minus 1. Liberty minus 15. He's also on Liberty first half minus 9.5. George Mason minus 7. Brown minus 2. Delaware money line plus 105. Delaware over 140 plus 100. Kansas State minus 26. Furman first half plus 2. FIU first half minus 3.5. Lafayette first half plus 3.5. Charleston first half minus 1 at minus 110. I'm tailing that. Brown full game minus 2.5 minus 110. I'm tailing that. I'm also tailing New Mexico UTEP over 146 and minus 105. Max, the only other thing that I would add to my card right now is that George Mason first half is the only thing I would add to my card if I was to. When you were on a full game, but the market moved so far, and then Top Set, our guy Elio came in saying he likes that first half. There's 4.5 even at my book. It's minus 120 at Bet365. What do you think of the minus 4.5 George Mason first half? It opened at 3.5. Should I still pull the trigger at 4.5?
Yeah, I think that you should because I have them as as 8 points of value. So if you're at 4.5, you still have 2.5 points of value. And by my books and by my ways that I make a bet, I think that's a bet that you can win and you can still cash even though the lines moved a point.
Okay, and I'm doing that. I'm on George Mason first half with Elio, and it correlates with Max's full game. I'm getting -4.5 at -115, -4.5, -115. That will be my fourth play. And then I'll just put a little cash sign because you are not on. Oh, we just got different lines for Brown. What am I talking about? Okay, no, take that back. So George Mason first half is the only play that you are not on because you're on full game of the ones that I'm on. So I'll just put a little cash sign there. There you have it. There is our show, Max. Spectacular job. Everybody in the chat, I hope we got to your questions. We did the best that we can. And thank you so much for all the energy that you put into the show. It means the world to me and Max. Max, all the hard work that you share with us, it's so much fun and so exciting. Max, follow Max on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. Then you get his reads and his looks way before everybody else, and you can beat all these market moves. Max, spectacular job. Thank you so much, my friend. Enjoy your night of action. I know you'll be following everything very, very, very closely, and I will be following it as well. Max, could you please do us the great honor of introducing Freddie Fortune to the show?
Yeah, absolutely. But before that, I just want to let you guys know tomorrow's going to be a special day in college basketball. It's rivalry day. Local rivals playing. God knows how many games on this board are going to be local rivals. It's going to be an exciting day in basketball. And without further ado, I have the daily pleasure of introducing to you a fine gentleman, a man that wears things on his face to help him see better. God bless him. His name's Freddie. His last name's Fortune, and he's here for you guys.
Freddie, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's happening, Jimmy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I don't know what to say.
No, you don't have to say anything.
Okay. I can be quiet the entire time.
No. I mean, you have action. How'd your action from yesterday go?
Well, remember that you made fun of me?
Oh, well, you said that a Canadian like myself doesn't know anything about
No,
curling.
for my Swedish curling play.
Yeah.
Well, it won, but my Swiss curling play lost. So I won 2-1 on curling.
I think that's 1-1, right?
Yeah, 1-1. I don't know. I don't speak English.
No, you speak English fine, but when one wins and one loses, that's not
Yeah, well,
2-1.
1-1. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
No,
Fuck me.
don't beat yourself up, man. What a horrifying roller coaster ride you are.
Yeah.
Well, you're wearing your lucky shirt. Has that brought some joy to your life?
No, Larry's about to die, so I'm not happy.
He's not about to die, man. Don't scare everybody. He's just a junkie. Yeah. What is your action today?
Well, you know I love futsal.
Yes, I do.
I wanted to bring a Peruvian futsal play
As you
like
should.
2 months ago, but I wasn't. I couldn't. So I brought 2 plays.
Okay.
It's Peruvian futsal. It's for tonight at 8:30. So Costa
tonight.
Rican time.
Oh, nice.
9:30 Eastern.
Ooh, Peruvian football, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
And also European women curling.
Oh, shit. I mean, these are hot spots, man.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit, gonna be a wild night.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Peruvian futsal. I think it's a risky play, but
It's well, you know, when you're talking Peruvian futsal, it's always risky, you know?
Yeah.
You can't feel safe ever in Peruvian futsal. That's what makes it so goddamn exciting.
Yeah.
What's-
Not only exciting,
but
arousing.
oh, man. All right. As long as you don't lick your lips, because I'm going to bounce immediately if you do.
Okay.
Could you give us your Peruvian futsal play?
Yeah, it's Primero de Mayo, -2.5
Sure.
at +110.
Sure.
Over Universidad.
Sure.
And for women curling,
Yeah.
it's Denmark at +110 over Germany.
+110, Denmark on the plus line over Germany, eh? And you're not going to give us the name of the female curler? Just, who cares? Denmark.
Yeah, it's Denmark.
All right.
It's their national team, so.
Sure. Chris Brady says, hey, Jimmy, what time is it in Costa Rica? It is 10 to 6 right now in Costa Rica.
That's a weird way to say the time.
Yeah, it's very weird, very uncomforting. It's so exciting. I've got bets to make. I've got some bets to make. I've got to go hammer these bets. Freddie, can you put a bow on the show for
I've
us?
seen people say like 15 past 4 and stuff like that.
Oh, wow, that's just incredible.
Yeah, English people like Flash.
Yeah?
Hey Flash, what time it is? 27 past 5:30 and
I don't think he says 27 past 5:30. He would say 27 past 5. I'm going to go.
No,
I'm just gonna
don't leave.
bounce. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave.
My throat is killing me. I can't.
Yeah, you
I
can.
can't let you.
No, you can leche. You can leche.
Can I sleep and end the show and that's it?
No, you're gonna leche. Have to leche. Give us a nice leche.
Leche.
Give us a nice leche.
Leche.
You can do it better. Come on.
Shut up, Rafa. Leche. And los bookmakers.